from Teachings of Lord Caitanya, verse number, chapter number 19. 18 also will read. Well, I looked at chapter
18, chapter number 18.
Yeah, I've been told 19 before, but we'll touch 18 also. Let me see. 18 and 19. Okay. Come back to that. Conversation with Prakash Ananda, chapter title. And then chapter 19 is further talks with Prakash Ananda also. So there's a conversation. I would like to give the context. A beautiful context has been explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is a summary study, teachings of Lord Chaitanya. When this exact incident happened, what was the precursor to this conversation, what was going on. It is good to understand because the chapter 19 begins with the ecstatic prema bhava stage has been explained. So that particular example is also given not only human beings, even in the animals. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving mercy like that, we'll understand that. So before that, let's read maybe first paragraph, then we'll offer our prayers and then we'll try to understand. According to the principles of Mayavadi sannyasis, singing, dancing, and playing musical instruments are strictly prohibited, for they are considered to be sinful activities. The Mayavadi sannyasi is simply supposed to engage in the study of the Vedanta. Therefore, when Mayavadi sannyasis in Benares saw that Lord Chaitanya was indulging in singing, dancing, playing musical instruments, and always chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. They concluded that he was not educated and that out of sentiment he was misleading his followers. Shankaracharya's injunction was that the sannyasi should always study the Vedanta and he should be satisfied by simply having one cloth and nothing more. Because Lord Chaitanya neither studied the Vedanta formally nor ceased from singing and dancing. He was criticized by all the sannyasis at Benares, as well as by their household followers. Om Ajnanatigrandasya Jnananjanasaragaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Rangete Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Deyataram Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram. Happy Akshay Tritiya in advance. It's already Akshay Tritiya Mangalarati Darshan from Sridham Mayapur. So very, very auspicious day. Please take it seriously. Tomorrow, any devotion service we do is multiplies. So try to do it much more seriously, starting all the way from 3:30 our time from Brahma Muhurta. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। श्री रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गोपाल की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। So the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent his 48 years of his life. 48 years he was there on this planet. So 24 years is before sannyas, and then 24 years after sannyas. So Adi Leela is first 24 years, and then the rest of the 24 years, 6 years there in Jagannath Puri. So devotees were coming from Bengal to Jagannath Puri. After 4 months of period, they're all there with the association. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sankirtan was going on big time. Then the rest of 6 years he traveled. After that, another 6 years, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled through South India, all over India, Vrindavan, so many places, all over India, pretty much everything he covered. And the rest of the 12 years he was there more in a kind of a seclusion with Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami. in Gambhira, Kashi Mishra's house, very close to the Lord Jagannath temple. So the last 12 years is more in a Vipralamba Bhav, he was teaching in great separation. So middle 6 years after sannyas is Madhya Leela. So last 12 years you can say as, or 18 years you can say as Antya Leela. The first 24 years before sannyas is Adi Leela, you can say that. This Prakasa and the Saraswati pastimes comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 27th chapter, 17th chapter, and also in Adi Leela 17th chapter. In multiple places has been referred. The context here is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is traveling to Vrindavan. This is after sannyas. Before that also, one day, as he was performing Sankirtan, we know the Chand Kazi's pastime. Multiple pastimes happened. One was Chand Kazi, breaking the mridangas and all. Lord Narasimha appearing, and others also, as Narasimha Chaturthi is coming up. Not only him, in the night he had Lord Narasimha appeared and showed, if you do that next time, I'm going to kill you. We had the indication marks next day, put it together. Not only that, then when he woke up, then he was talking, his servants, whoever he sent to break the mridanga and stop, even they had burning faces, face burned, beard burned, they also indicated what has happened to them. So he was relating all these things. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime of Srivas Thakur's son passed away. And then Mahaprabhu giving mercy to the Muslim tailor, attained Bhava, Krishna consciousness, chanting the holy name. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was inducing through Sankit. And he gave the remnants to Mother Narayani. His son is Vrindavan Das Thakur, Narayani's son. Srivas Thakur's niece is Narayan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving mercy. Later on also it will be described that one day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting Gopi Gopi. And the students, he was teaching as Nimai Pandit before. These students then took that and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took a stick and ran behind them. So he didn't stop and all others had to pacify him. Then finally also, and then they went and then told all other students, Brahmana students and whole village that he has become, so he doesn't have any fear treating Brahmanas. He forgot his religious principles. They started criticizing. That's when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought that now my purpose is not happening. Opposite is happening. Instead of supposed to give mercy and induce them to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but rather opposite is happening. They are blaspheming. They are doing the offenses. They became the offenders. So I should now take at that time. So Ketra Varde comes to village of Nadia. Then he invites him, feeds him, and then he requests, "You are Lord Narayan. So please give me the mercy, give me the sannyas." Then he speaks, "No, you are the Lord Narayan. So I'm not the Lord." And then in that way conversation, finally, so Kesavada agrees, and then later on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes sannyas because Prakashananda Saraswati is also coming into the same. So this was already happened. This is one incident, and then finally when after taking sannyas, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after second pastime, he goes to Shantipur, directed that way. But second time he goes to Vrindavan with Balabhadra Bhattacharya servant. As he going through walking to Jharkhand forest. So then later on when he comes back to Varanasi, Kasi, then he meets Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar Acharya. Suddenly you hear Tapan Mishra was thinking he was taking bath in river Manikarnika Ghat. So then he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, immediately our obeisances, respects, and then he takes Lord to his home, and then finally they discuss that. So we are there in this Varanasi, no devotee association, all we are hearing is blasphemy. Mayavadis, this Prakashananda Saraswati was there, all the Mayavadis were there. All we hear is Brahman, Atma, Chaitanya. These are they never utter. How come? So please shower your mercy. We are so grateful that you have come here. We are completely distraught with this all these things going on. So without Vaishnavas, without chanting, they express their desire that way. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed there, and then Benares, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught for 2 months to Sanatana Goswami. This is the context. This is the prelude of this Prakash and the Saraswati, how it comes. Then, when they were both were talking, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking his meal at Tapan Mishra's house, staying at the Chandrasekhara. True Chandrasekhara is there. Chandrasekhara Vaidya. His mother is from Sudra background, but father is from Brahmin background. So, but he still is called kind of from a lower background. But still, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed at his home. The other one is Chandrasekhara Acharya, who was there at the time of sannyas. Only few people know. Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Chandrasekhara Acharya, Haridas Thakur, and then two others. Only 5 people. Advaita Acharya, only 5 people know about the Mahaprabhu taking sannyas. One of them is Chandrasekhara Acharya. This Chandrasekhara is different from Chandrasekhara Vaidya, as far as I know. So this is Chandrasekhara Vaidya from Benara, from Varanasi, Kasi. So then he said, then the Brahmana walks in, one of the Brahmana. Then he invites Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and tells what's going on. That he goes and meets Prakasana Saraswati, tells, I have met a great devotee of the Lord. I met a great sannyasi. His name is Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And dances and he is in ecstasy, falls down on the ground, is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By his appearance, by as soon as one looks at him, everybody thinks of Lord Narayana, chants the holy name. This is the case, and he explains in great detail. Then Prakash laughs loudly, and then he mimics and he says, no, yes, I know him. I heard about him. He's a madman. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't study Vedanta. I know he's Keshav Bharati. We have taken sannyas from. His name is, yes. He's supposed to study Vedanta, but he simply chants his holy name, nothing else. Don't call him, otherwise you will also become another sentimentalist. Then this Brahmin becomes so, become distressed hearing this talk from Prakash. Then he goes back and relates to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts his invitation. Then this Brahmin also invites Sanodaya Brahman, Maharashtrian Brahmin it is called. He invites all these Prakasanas and all his disciples. So that's where this meeting is happening, this discussion. This is the context. Before he came to Chandrasekhara Acharya's house, when he went through Jharkhand forest, where that is explained that all the various elephants, even while doing Gayatri was murmuring, then the elephants coming close, then he splashed water on them, then they started dancing. They fell down on the ground, then their ecstatic symptoms arose, even the elephants. Then as he was walking, the tiger stopped. Tigers also induced tigers to chant. Then the does came. Like that, pretty much they forgot all their enmity and everything. They always all started chanting. When the does came forward, there's a beautiful verse. These elephants dancing, fell down, and Baba ecstatic symptoms are in the 19th chapter beginning. That is the context. Beautiful verse has been explained, quoted there. Danyasma Moda Matayo Api Haranya Ya Nanda Nandanam Upatta Vichitravesham Akanya Venuranitam Saha Krishna Sara Pujam Dadur Virachitam Pranayavalokai. Blessed are all these foolish deer because they have approached Maharaj Nanda's son, who is gorgeously dressed and is playing on his flute. Indeed, both the does and the bucks worship Lord with looks of love and affection. And this is what we are dealing with here. The ecstatic prayer. One who chants, takes up this process of holy name, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. How, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, the Six Shastram is very important. We'll chant that verse and then we'll come to that because it's very important. Every day one must read. If you want to develop taste for the holy name, we must chant. This is the Prabhupada's established process. After Samsara Dava prayers, Tulsi Maharaj prayers, we chant after 10 offenses and then we chant Sikshastram. So it's very important because there are various explanations for Sikshastram. One explanation Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving in Bhajan Rahasya is this Sikshastakam is compared with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, 8 syllables, 8 divisions, 8 couplets. Each one is representing these 8 verses. And then he gives also the first verse is represent destruction of avidya, second verse represents anartha nivrutti, third verse representing nishtha, fourth verse representing ruchi, fifth verse representing asakti, sixth verse representing bhava, seventh and eighth verse representing Krishna Prem. This clear laying out. So that we should chant. It has the essence and all the energy and potency and mercy, everything is there in Sikshastakam. Then, so we should chant the holy name by taking full shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is the process. By his mercy, by Prabhupada's mercy, then we can actually understand this conversation with Prakash and Saraswati. So there are also other 3 verses in the same chapter, Madhya Leela. And we should also understand another background, what Srila Prabhupada has instructed in terms of the preaching, which I mentioned before. Madhya Leela, chapter 8, verse number 60, 56. Namaskar Karile Rai Chaitanya Kahi. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said when Ananda Rai offered obeisances, Krishna Raha, they have discussed confidential topic about Chaitanya Lord Krishna's pastimes. There in that purport Prabhupada is giving. One should Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed on the basis of philosophy of Bhagavad Gita with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Prakash and Saraswati. Next he mentions about the bhakti process with Sanatana Goswami and Prabhupada Goswami. And then he discussed the most confidential topic, he discussed only with Ramananda Rai, Sarvabhauma Goswami. And then general public and Sankirtan movement. This is what we should also follow. Prabhupada is giving chapter 8, Madhya Leela, verse number 56. You can refer back to that. That is also important context. Other 3 verses which will describe in the chapter 19 beginning. First is laid out about the Bhava stage of chanting the holy name. And then there it is described Lord Krishna's holy name and Lord Krishna is non-different. Both are Nama Chintamani, Krishna Chaitanya Rasavigra, Purna Suddho, Nityamukto, Abhinnatvam, Nama. Nama Chintamani, the holy name contains all the potencies. Nama Chintamani, Krishna Chaitanya Rasavigraha. Non-different from, that is in the chapter 17, Madhya Leela, verse number 133, 130, 131, 132, 133. 3 verses telling clearly this enunciating. Third verse, quote 133, quotes exact this verse which I mentioned from Padma Puran. This Nama Chintamani, Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purna Suddho, it's fully potent and pure. Nitya Mukto, ever liberated, Purna Suddho, it's pure. Nitya Mukto, Abhinnatvam Namanam, no difference there. It is explained at 131. Nama Vigraha Swarupa Tina Eka Rupa. Tina Veda Nahi Tina Chidananda Rupa. The Lord's holy name, his form, his personality are all one and the same. There is no difference between them. Since all of them are absolute, they are all transcendentally blissful. Further he is telling, Deha Dehira Nama Namira Krishna Nahi Veda, Jivera Dharma Nama Deha Swarupa Vibeda. There is no difference between Krishna's body and himself, or between his name and himself. But as far as the conditioned soul is concerned, one's name is different from one's body, from one's original form, and so on. So that's why when we chant anybody's name, ordinary person, conditioned soul's name, is not same effect is there. But when we chant the holy names of the Lord, then it is the same as seeing the Lord, Lord's body, Lord's Archa Vigraha, Lord's personal form, personality. There is no difference. His pastimes, his activities is the same. So, and the third verse, this is 132 verse, and the 133 which verse I quoted. Now we'll read back again. So that we understand the context. With Prakash and Saraswati, Lord emphasize more so about the holy name, not so because what is the essence of Vedanta? The essence of Vedanta is to know Sarvasya Chaham Hrudi Sannivishto Matta Smrutir Gnanam Apohanancha Vedaischa Sarvair Ahame Vedyo Vedanta Krut Veda Vid Eva Chaham. I am to be known. How will you know? So how will you know? You have to know everything, you have to go by verse only. You can only speak so many things. But if it is not based on the Shastra and Sadhu Guru, then it doesn't have transformation result. Verse number 8 from Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami is giving Upadesha Amrita. Key verse. Tannam Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Anusmrutyo Tishtan Vaje Tad Anuragi Jananugami Kalam Nayeti Upadesha. This is the essence of this Upadesha Amrita. Tannama, when you chant the holy name attentively, absorbedly, just like Sri Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj emphasized, attentively chanting means absolutely in the morning as much as possible. So if you practice 15 20, then you can chant any time of the day, hopefully with attention. But otherwise, in the beginning, yes, it's not possible. It's very difficult with so many things going on. So we're conditioned. So that's it. So in this verse, with the holy name, one will chant attention, then Rupa will be revealed, form will be revealed, his past tense will be Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila. All four things will be revealed. Rupa, Guna means qualities, past tense. You'll directly see the past tense as you chant the holy name. You'll come to that stage. Provided in the purport it says, Tistan in the association of devotees. Tistan Vaje Tad Anuragi. Either you make your heart a Vrindavan consciousness or temple, you are situated in the taking the association of devotees who are also in that conscious. Tistan Vaje Tad Anuragi. You are following those who are absorbed in that consciousness. Anuragi Jananugami. Then you can attain this highest destination as Krishna Prema. Everything will be manifested in our hearts. In the purport, Prabhupada is giving the elaborate purport where it is clearly explained. If you go from the Sravanam of this holy name, what you chant, that's why any japa call, any call, we should chant and we should hear our own voice, not somebody else's voice. This is not the prescription of Prabhupada. We should hear what we are Sankirtan fine. But if it is japa, means if you are considering this one round as japa in your japa call, wherever you are chanting online, then you have to hear your own voice, not somebody else's voice. Then you can't call that a japa. It becomes sankirtan. So that we have to realize that fact. Sravanam, one must hear attentively the transcendent subject matter and also the holy name and you hear. And then when that will lead, after so long, to Varana, then that will lead continuously, consistently reading and the hearing. Great attempt. Please mute the lines, please. Then Varana will lead to Smarana. You consistently practice that. So Prabhupada said 15 to 20 years it will take consistently. If you do it. If you are not consistent, it may take many lifetimes. Sravana to Varana, Varana to Smarana, Smarana to Sampatti, and then Samadhi. Same, these ecstatic symptoms, Bhava. The holy name only. Same holy name. But the practice has to be the hearing and chanting of the holy name and the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all the subject matters has to be heard consistently every day, systematically followed. Then all the experience, whatever is being told to Prakashananda Saraswati, the same thing is being told to us by Sri Prabhupada. So that's why it's very important to know this context. We'll chant the Shastra, then we'll come to, we'll read a little bit. चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भव महादावाग्निर्वापणं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधू जीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मास्नपनं परं विजेते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनं नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन कालम् एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशी व्याजनिनामनुरागम् तृणादपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरी कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहेतु की त्वयि ऐनं दतनुज किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कज स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तया नयनं गलदश्रुधारय वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकैर्निचितं वपो तव नाम ग्रहणेन भविष्यति. This is the Bhava ecstatic symptoms has been explained in this particular verse. which in the 19th chapter beginning, that Baba only has been talked about, how through chanting of the holy name, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came back from Gaya after being initiated by Ishwara Puri Maharaj, he gave his mercy, then as he chanting, then he exhibited that. Then everybody thought that, no, so they complained to Kazi, he became a madman. He was chanting all day and night. So this is what Baba means. Everybody can come to that stage, provided if they follow what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us through Sikshastakam. Krishna asked, and that's why we have to take shelter of Krishna. If you are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, teaching the Lord Chaitanya, then we must take shelter. We must pray to Krishna Maharaj. He can reveal us. He can give us the essence. So he can give us the mercy through Sri Prabhupada. So Yuga-ayitam nimeshena chakshusha pravrushayutam Sunya-ayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena Sunya-ayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena Asleshavam padaratam pinastu vam Adarsanam mahataam karotu Yata tata mahamtu vidadatu lampado Matpranadastu Saivanaparaham Matpranadastu Saivanaparaham Matpranadastu Saivanaparaham Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Jai Jai Shri Prabhupada Jai. Let us read from that particular chapter 18. First chapter. We read the first paragraph, second paragraph. When Lord Chaitanya received the news of this criticism from students and disciples, he simply smiled and started for Mathura and Vrindavan. This is the past time I explained, which I gave already the context. Most of it I explained. When he returned to Benares on his way from Mathura to Jagannath Puri, he glorified Balabhadra Bhattacharya like also anything. Because he served so humbly, so menially, that Chaitanya was supremely happy. Because otherwise it's not possible. By your mercy, you brought me. I had no obstacles on the way. You arranged everything. You arranged. You served so nicely that I was simply absorbed. I was able to feel the ecstasy. I was able to chant nicely. I was able to see the Lord. So he glorified Balabhadra Bhattacharya. By your mercy, then Balabhadra Mahaprabhu, you are the Lord. I have nothing. I am so fallen. So this is the mood in which we should serve. This is the mood Sri Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj is showing how to serve humbly, how to put Sri Prabhupada and Lord Krishna in the center of all deity worship in the center. So how to put the chanting in the center and how to serve humbly, taking the service of Guru Prabhupada as life and soul till our last breath. So then everything can manifest. So as we can see here, that's when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came through from after the Jagannath Puri, Mathura, then came to Tapan Mishra and Varanasi, Kasi. That's where this meeting of Prakash and Saraswati happening. He stayed at the house of Chandrasekhara. There also they served so nicely. Especially the Guru is coming, so then they wash the feet. They put their water. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, son of Tapan Mishra. So he was there. They all massaged the legs of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And sprinkle that water. This is the process. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada is showing. Prabhupada allowed also washing his feet, and sometimes spiritual master may not allow, then we have to go by what he says. But if he allows, we should wash the feet. If Guru comes to our place, that is the process, because that's a great mercy, a great way to receive a Vaishnava as well as exalt for a spiritual master, especially. That's how he should be treated. He should be served like a lord. He stayed at the house of Chandrasekhara, who was considered a Sudra because he was a clerk. In spite of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made his residence at his home, like Kalidas pastime is also like that in Jagannath Puri. Mahaprabhu gave full mercy to him. Lord Chaitanya made no distinction between Brahmanas and Rudras. This is the mercy of Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Goswami Prabhupada. Today, even though Mataji receives Brahman initiation, even though we are not born from, at least I am not born from Brahmana family, but we are able to do deity worship. Many other places you can't worship the deity. Even if you get second initiation, also still you do paraphernalia, outside work, ancillary work only. You can't worship, you can't touch the deity on the altar. It's not possible unless you are born from Brahman. So this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to teach us. He accepted anyone who was devoted. Customarily, a sannyasi is supposed to take shelter and eat in the home of a Brahmana. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as independent Supreme Personality of God, used his own discretion and decided to stay at Chandrasekhara's house. In those days, by misusing their Brahminical heritage, the Brahmanas had created a law to effect that anyone not born in a Brahmana family was to be considered a Sudra. Thus, even Kshatriyas, Vaidyas were also considered Sudras because Vaidyas were said to be the descendants of Brahmana fathers, Sudra mothers. That's what I mentioned already. They were sometimes called Sudras. Thus, Chandrasekhara, although born in a Vaidya family, was called a Sudra in Banaras because mother was from the Sudra background, father was a Brahman. As long as Lord Chaitanya stayed in Banaras, he remained at Chandrasekhara's house, Chandrasekhara Vaidya. He took his food at the home of Tapan Mishra, where Sanatana Goswami met Lord Chaitanya at Banaras. All these are happening at Varanasi. So that's why all these are being discussed and told. He learned the process of principles of devotion service during 2 months of continuous teaching. That became Brahad Bhagavatamrita, Haribhakti Vilas. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted him to write with quotations from various shastras. What are the principles? So Vilas. There are 20 Vilas. Prabhupada explains in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Few purports, few verses purports. Prabhupada explains each Vilas. What does it contain? Prabhupada didn't want us to read, go and read, open Haribhakti Vilas and read, because there could majority of the cases we could get trapped into this rules business. That's why he has given the essence there. We should not read Haribhakti Vilas separately, unless you are guided by the spiritual master, or you are under the guidance of advanced devotee. You are referring to that book. We should refer to the purport where Prabhupada is giving the details of those 20 Vilas of Haribhakti Vilas. So that's why we have to know. If you are reading anything which is not Prabhupada authorized book, then we should be very careful of that. Otherwise, you may give up Prabhupada's books and read all other books and not read Prabhupada's books regularly, which is not a good thing. That is jumping over Guru and doing your own thing. That is not the process Prabhupada has given. Prabhupada wanted us to read what books he has given regularly. You need to refer, you can refer to other books, but his books has to be read every day, regularly. So we have to stick to the principles of Acharya. Then only we can actually realize something. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Here we are. Lord Chaitanya's instructions, Sanatana Goswami has been described in the first part of this book. After receiving these teachings, Sanatana Goswami was authorized to propagate the principles of devotion service and Srimad Bhagavatam. It was during this time that both Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhara were feeling very sorry about the strong criticism against Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like the students' criticism happened first time, second incident this happened. And they came together and prayed for the Lord to meet the Mayavadi sannyasis through Sanodiya Brahman. You have been mortified by hearing unfavorable criticism from Mayavadi sannyasis against you. They informed Lord Chaitanya, indeed, it has become intolerable for us, because for any devotees, it has become very difficult. What we are supposed to do? You should not instruct the faithless person on Mayavadis. What you are supposed to do then? You can give prasadam if they are favorable and accepting. Our books, they are favorable and accepting. We should know. Then once we know that they are not ready, they are not favorable, then we should not deal with them. So we should still compassionate, but we should not discuss and argue with those persons. That is the business of spiritual master and exalted personalities, because otherwise it will become offensive. Once they start criticizing the Lord or the pure devotees, then it will offense for them and offense for us also. So that's why it is the one of the offenses is instructing faithless person. 9th offense in the holy names is that one. So that's why we should be very careful of that fact. They requested the Lord to do something so that these criticism would be stopped. While they were discussing this subject, a Brahmana came to Lord Chaitanya. This is some of the Brahman / Maharashtrian Brahman. Invited him to his home, all the sannyasis, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had been invited. Now the Brahmana came to invite him, knowing that the Lord did not mix with Mayavadi sannyasis, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu already instructed. Mayavadi sannyasis, Sunilera Bhashya, Sarvanas. If you hear from Mayavadis, that's why in Holy Dhamsar also you can't distinguish. Unless you read Prabhupada's properly, it is very difficult to distinguish who is Mayavadi, who is not Mayavadi. These conceptions are there, sometimes even the practitioners or devotees also. As Brahmavadis and Mayavadis, all other conceptions are there. So that we should be careful whom we have to hear from. And although I know that you do not accept invitations, I still implore you to come and take prasadam at my home and with other sannyasis. If you accept this invitation, I will consider it as a special favor. The Lord took this opportunity and accepted the Brahmana's invitation in order to meet Mayavadi sannyasis. That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhupada is quoting in many places that Krishna Sakti nahi bina tare nama prachar. The same thing. Krishna Sakti nahi bina tare pravartan. You can transform unless you are being empowered. Power of attorney has been given by your spiritual master, previous acharyas. You can transform yourself, you can transform others. Same thing, you can't properly chant the holy name, you can make others chant also holy name properly. Unless you are being empowered. You are being given authority, power of attorney is given, you are being empowered, you have been guided and instructed by spiritual master, sadhus. That is the key. Here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Maharashtra Brahman could have done. There are not ordinary devotees. But this is the process, always. Always you take, even though we may be experienced, but we should always consult. First business is consult with Guru. First business is to pray to Guru, Prabhupada, before class, before chanting, before anything. If we do anything without that, na gati kutopi, no destination, no results. Even though you may chant 100 rounds, it will have not much result. Because you are not going through the acharya who is going to give you the bhakti seed in your heart, reveal things in your heart. It's a para bhakti. That is what para bhakti means. If that is not, then what bhakti are you going to follow, perform? Karma, jnana, yoga, all other things will perform. We can't perform bhakti without the mercy of the acharya. So that's why it is very important to follow that principle. The Lord took this opportunity and accepted Brahmana's invitation in order to meet the Mayavadi sannyasis. Actually, this was an arrangement made by the Lord himself. Although the Brahmana who invited him knew that the Lord did not accept any invitations, he was still very eager to invite him. So that is throughout Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, everywhere it is there. If somebody asks where did the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the holy name, Lord Bhagavad Gita, Krishna didn't say, Satatam Kirtayam Toma. He said that multiple times, directly or indirectly. 8:14 also he said that. Tasyaham sulabha partha nitya yuktasya yogina ananya cheta satam yomam smarata nitya. How will you remember? You're not chanting the holy name. You're not. How can you remember Lord Krishna? That is the first process Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given. We can't remember him. So that is there also emphasizing. In Srimad Bhagavatam also there everywhere. Etad nirvidyamananam uchitam vayam yoginam rupa nirnitam harer namanu kirtanam. Regularly, continuously, throughout the day. At the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam, same thing. So everywhere, same thing is stressed. So we can quote whoever wants to know why we should chant the holy name, why that is the priority. So that is the Yoga Dharma, everywhere it is given. And Kalasantarana Upanishad is given, and so many Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, everywhere that is the same stress is given. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also giving in Sanatana Siksha also 4 chapters, same thing is stressed. Tara Madhya Sarva Sreshta Niraparada Nama Loile Krishna Premadam. Within the 9 limbs of devotion, this chanting of the holy name is the topmost. Hearing and chanting. This is our business. Brahma Matra Bodhi Sampradaya. These are the key things. Chanting and hearing. These 2 things cannot be stopped. We should not have even 1 day gap without doing this chanting and hearing. These 2 things has to go on. Among them was the sannyasi named Prakasana Saraswati. He was the chief among the impersonal sannyasis because he was the leader. And he addressed Lord Chaitanya with great humility. After watching, he sat down in that spot, little distance from the other sannyasis. While he was sitting there, the sannyasi saw glaring effulgence emanating from his body. This happened even in Prabhupada pastimes also many times. Not everybody could see, but some disciples could see big aura behind Prabhupada. He was walking, not walking on the ground, he was walking in the sky. Only few could see, not everybody could see. Because the pure devotee of the Lord can manifest. He has a potency, but he will not manifest to everybody and anybody. He doesn't need to. So as we can see, the children was clearing up. All Mayavadi sannyasis stood up and showed him their respects. That's which is Mahaprabhu took. Because once you take sannyas, then whether they are internally sannyas or not, that is secondary thing. But they will offer obeisances. For that reason, only first Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, so that no one will do offense. Offensiveness will not be. At least they will offer obeisances. So at least that will do good for them. Otherwise, students are criticizing him. So that is one of the thought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to have. So my dear sir, I think already done. The time is up. We'll read these 2 lines and then stop. My dear sir, why are you sitting in that filthy place? Yes, please come and sit with us. Oh, I belong to an inferior sect of sannyasis. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, therefore, I think that I should not sit with you. Let me remain down here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing how to conduct ourselves. Prabhupada has done that also in when they did in Europe, in France and other places. So many big scholars, big rich people used to come. Then they had big vyasas. Then they started questioning. How come you are sitting in this big place? You think you are the master? You think you are the guru? So Prabhupada said, if any of you know about the transcendental subject matter about God, then you can also sit here. You can also sit and speak. I have no problem. So I am not the only. If you have the knowledge, you can also speak. Then Prabhupada told Bhagavan Das Prabhu that next time, no more. Let me sit, keep it simple. So, because many places, that's how it is. So we should see according time, place, circumstances, how things should be done. Yes, as a disciple, we can arrange, but then consult with Acharya. What should be done, how it should be done, so that it is done appropriate to the time, place. That's the thing we have to follow. Ask puja or anything. The garland, the dressing, everything. The deities and Prabhupada appropriately. Then our spiritual master. If they are not done appropriately, then you put spiritual master as in a higher way, nice, wonderful garland, wonderful clothes, but then you see the deities and then Prabhupada is in a lesser way. It's not is inappropriate. So these things has to be considered in the whenever as we do time, place, circumstance has to be considered how things should be done. And so this is what bhakti gradually we have to know and learn these things, observe these things. Bhakti means we have to observe a lot from the other senior devotees, Prabhupada disciples. So Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj has taught all these principles. Vaishnava etiquette, we have to learn from him especially. Hear from him and what is shown by his own example. So then we can actually develop naturally all these qualities. Otherwise, it becomes difficult if you don't observe, you don't learn. So everything. So with that, we will stop here as time is already late. Madras, Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Gopal, any questions, comments, corrections? Good. Dear devotees, any questions, comments, corrections, reflections?
हो प्रभु हरे कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम
Yes.
I need to, but this is not a question. If you Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhalila, this Prakata Posaka
Saraswati, yes.
Asananda Saraswati met with Chaitanya Dev. So that particular verse, I read that particular verse only we read actually.
Okay.
So I'll see that up to 100, 110 like that. Before that also.
Right.
So very beautifully described there. If you little bit read that thing, I will release it.
Yeah, the time is short. It is there in Madhyalila, chapter 27, last chapter. Describe the whole conversation meeting. Here, the essence is given because this is a summary study. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada has given lectures. So on that basis, and also because Bhaktivinoda Thakur has, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sent this book, teaching TLC book before to Canada McGill University. So many of these things. So interesting, these pastimes are so interesting about Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, how Prabhupada started translating, how it came about. Interesting pastimes. In when Prabhupada was in Hawaii with Govinda Dasi Mataji and get his name, not Dora, some name, the husband. Both of them somehow or other, they were fascinated with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then they started reading and somewhere or other online or something. And then Prabhupada, they were discussing Prabhupada, then Prabhupada, oh, I should start translating. I should give knowledge about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all his instructions. Then after that, Prabhupada started taking up this task of Chaitanya Charitamrita very quickly, rapidly. So Prabhupada had done the translating the book, completing it very quickly. So interesting passage. Srimad Bhagavatam also similar pastimes are there from Bhagavan Das Prabhu, and in India also how he received these Bhagavatam sets from Gali or 11 or 12 translations from other acharyas. So yeah, but it's a beautiful pastime. This whole every verse after verse, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dealt with Prakash and Saraswati with great humility. He taught his example, his demeanor. So naturally, we felt very much compassionate. We felt the agony and distress of his devotees. Then he was even more compelled to somehow or the other convert all of them into devotees. And he was anyway converting all over the world. Wherever he went, Buddhists, Mayavadis, Brahmavadis, demigod worship, everyone. He didn't leave. He pretty much he turned every stone, every type, category, you name it, everyone throughout his travel to India. Those 6 years, those pastimes are very, very important pastimes, understanding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. So that's why we should be very important instruction is we should be very compassionate. We should not deny anybody's service. We should accept everybody. We also have so many faults. We should accept everyone's, service, the faults. We should not look at their faults. We can discuss and understand so that we don't repeat it. That can be there. But we should neglect those and then see the spark, positive qualities in others, and then engage them, train them, guide them very compassionately, lovingly. So that is the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is the mood of Sri Prabhupada. If you follow that, then you can develop the Krishna Prema naturally. We'll read one another day because time is short. Is that okay?
Sure. Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Yes, Amritam, go ahead, please. Neeru Mata, you had a question?
I don't have a question.
Okay, you're on mute. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Go ahead, Amritam.
Dandavat. All Krishna Prabhupada. So, Prabhu, you were mentioning that chanting in the company of devotees.
Yes.
So, almost all of us chant alone. And, sometimes or once upon a time, there was this Japa Sangha. But then the phones are left mute. People log in, but phones are left mute. So what really is this thing of chanting in Sangha?
One person can chant. See, because there could be a new person joining. You could hear sometimes if you want to understand the pattern or you are hearing from Vaishnava, that's not a problem. But if you yourself want to take that as your japa, your chanting or counting as 16 rounds, then you are supposed to hear what we are chanting. Otherwise, it is Sankirtan. We are not saying the result won't be there. We are not saying it's not a chanting. It is not considered as 16 rounds of your japa. If you are going to hear from, 10 people chanting, then whose voice are you going to hear? Which mantra you are hearing? So one person chanting, no problem. If everybody is chanting, hearing their own voice, very slow voice, maybe it is possible. But ideally, one person chanting is the best. So somebody should chant because call is going on means if a new person joins, then he thought, oh, what's going on? No one is chanting here. So that's why one person should ideally chant. Rest can be on mute or we can take turns. Whatever is coming, that is the ideal way. If you are doing kirtan, chanting in japa marathon or whatever japa session at the temple, that's different. So because everybody is sitting and that's there, you should chant mildly. Somebody chants so loud, then others cannot chant there. They can't hear. So those sessions also they generally instruct you chant a little bit in a low pace, the low voice, so that everybody can chant sitting next to each other also. Because we have seen in Caitanya, Zolan Radhanath Maharaj was there, so many other devotees are there. Everybody is chanting. So generally some one or two are chanting a little louder, but generally it's ideally one should chant low voice so that we hear our own chanting. That is the general prescription given So, yeah. Is that okay, bro?
It's a little different from what my understanding has been. So if you could clarify a little more, Prabhu. Like, I know in Radha Gopinath Mandir, they make circles of 10 and people chant together. And it's explained that you're chanting and you're also hearing other devotees chant. So it's just not only your voice, but also in that group, everyone. So it becomes like a meditative state. And the same thing used to happen even on these phone conferences, where it was done virtual, that was done in person. So devotees would get together and do japa. And of course, now, whether for time or whatever, we are not joining those sanghas, but many of us were chanting alone, the 16 rounds quota or whatever it is, japa. I'm talking of japa.
Right.
So it's not in company of other Vaishnavas. Maybe once in a while, when Romapad Maharaj comes and there is a retreat, japa retreat once a year. But rest of the time, every day is you're doing it alone, Prabhu.
Yeah.
So is there a way out, or
You can,
is it?
ideally, yeah. Basically, japa sessions are to inspire each other to chant the holy names. So if you are in the japa session, you can mute and chant. Everybody can mute and chant. There's no problem. But one person, ideally, one person should chant at least, so that some holy name is going on. If any person joins, then they should be able to. But so that way, so somebody is checking, so everybody is getting inspired by others. So some of them joins at 3:30, some of them join at 4:30. Oh, I should also do. I should also try to wake up, try to join early and chant my rounds attentively. So that inspiration comes when you're in that sangha. You want to chant together one round, that's fine too. But that cannot be considered as your 16 rounds of your chanting. Is ideally japa is considered separately, individually. Chanting and hearing your own voice, that is considered part of that 16 round japa. Other thing you can do, there is no problem. We're not saying that is not good. We're not saying. We're only saying part of that 16 round quota of japa or more is supposed to be done hearing your own japa, your own voice. Ideal is mind, initially loud, and then ideal japa after many years of practice. That is there. Japa means within the mind and with not lips moving. But now we can chant because then we'll sleep, or it will take so long to even to chant in 16 rounds. But if we practice 15, 20 years or more consistently attend, then we'll come to that also. Right? That's the Prabhupada stressing. Chant a little louder. You can hear, you don't sleep. You pay attention to each and every syllable. So that's why we should chant loudly. Yeah.
So
That is the
Prabhu,
idea.
chanting in company is not counted to your 16 rounds?
Company means if you are hearing from others, right? You can consider that, but it's not really a japa. So as far as I know, that's not the case. You can sankirtan, you can consider sankirtan, you can consider general chanting, but 16 round means attentively you are hearing every syllable and the whole mantra clearly, attentively. If other person is two people are chanting, which mantra you are hearing? You
Both, no?
the mantras also, and all these things will come. Sankirtan is fine. If there is a particular melody, when Prabhupada was there's a particular, everybody is in sync. That is a little, okay, that is at least done. If one is chanting fast, one is chanting slow, so many things goes when multiple people are chanting. So the ideally one person should chant, and then you take a turn, another person will chant, that's not a problem. But if multiple people, few people chant together, then you can't
So
get.
Prabhu, is this instruction from some acharya or from some shastra, or is it recommended, or what is the kind of
Based on
it's
what
new?
Prabhupada's books, this is what I read. You chant and you hear your own voice attentively. How can you attentively hear? Your multiple people are chanting one your own one sound vibration coming from anybody. Why Prabhupada says when he is giving class, nobody else should speak. Why? Because the attention Where the sound is coming, you have to pay attention to that one sound. If two sounds are coming, where you are going to put attention? For me, it is very clear in Prabhupada's books. How attention can come is you should chant and hear your own. Sankirtan is different. There also, that Prabhupada want to make sure don't put too much mridanga. Properly sound is there so that the person who is singing, you are hearing that singing and you follow in sync. All devotees are following in sync. There also, Sankirtan also, there are certain methods, certain way it should be done so that it follows, you're attentively even hearing that also, Sankirtan also.
Sankirtan is, yeah, Prabhu, I agree. Sankirtan is different, Japa, but we are speaking Japa only. And not just Radha Gopinath Mandir, but other temples also. And in fact, they used to say you have to chant in a group. You'll, not only the inspiration, what you spoke about, but also it'll help you concentrate. And that was counted towards, it was Japa, not Sankirtan.
Yeah.
And in the morning, they used to, after Bhagavad, before class, once the pujas are over, Mangalarti and all, then the whole congregation would sit together and do japa. So
we all, as I told, Gitanagari and other festivals also, we all sat together. Then Mahatma.
Then that's not counted, no? What you're saying, that's not counted towards your 16 round.
No, you didn't hear me correctly. When you're all sitting together and you're chanting, you are hearing your own voice. When Mahatma Prabhu giving japa session or Prabhupada Maharaj giving japa session, he didn't say you hear somebody else's chanting. You are hearing your own chanting. So you're not disturbing others chanting loudly or something. So that is association. Because others' vibrations are there. Everybody is chanting nicely. That itself creates a nice mood and that power is there. Especially if the sannyasi or advanced devotee is there sitting next to you, then you also get some empowerment. You will attentively chant. So that is the idea. That is the idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Thanks, Prabhu. Thanks for clarifying. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I think we should stop 8:04. Any other comments? Yeah, there's a question about after many years, eventually we'll come to Manasik chanting, which I told. That is Young Raja, Bhaktivinoda Thakur and other Prabhupada also talks about. But we are not there yet because we will sleep or we will get into some mind, will go distracted in the beginning. Do we think about Krishna's pastime during chanting or it will naturally happen? It is supposed naturally happen. We should not start meditating and then you forget your chanting, hearing, you will start meditating. When naturally happens, you still remember your focusedly remembering the Lord. So at least that's what Sri Prabhupada has instructed in some of the purports. We should not try, we should concentrate. Yes, we can look at the lotus feet of the Lord and chant, fine. But you should hear. You should not think about them. I'll do this, I'll do that. Then other thoughts will come. That's not a good way. So after consistent practice of many years, then naturally it will happen. The past time. Nama, Rupa. Nama will automatically put us into Rupa, Guna, Lila. These naturally will happen. Some unnatural will try to forcibly comes into that mood and thinking of the past time, thinking of the qualities, thinking of the form. That's not natural. So, or we think that I'm a gopi now, I'm covered by now. These are things not encouraged, not supposed to be done in the beginning stages. If at all we have those questions or anything coming up like that, we should discuss with spiritual master, advanced devotees, so that is properly understood what the consciousness is, what level he is in or she is in. Then spiritual master can verify that and instruct accordingly, guide accordingly. Okay, with that, I think we should stop it unless anybody else has comments or reflections. Okay, thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhasya upasindhu patitana
Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
We're not saying even if at all we have done together multiple times. ideally, it's not a good practice. That's all we are saying. We all made mistakes. So we should learn and see whatever it gives us, whatever it makes us attentive and absorbed and concentrating and developing our love. That essence should be taken. That's all I'm trying to make a point. So it's not pointing this person has done wrong or that person has done wrong. So we're just trying to come to the essential way for all of us to come to that absorbed chanting and developing Krishna prema. So that's all we're saying. Vaishnava,